Let's have example 2. Solve the rational algebraic equation x plus 3 over 4 minus 6 over x plus 3 equals 1. This is a rational algebraic equation. Step 1, we will multiply both sides of the equation by the LCM. This is the given equation. Ang LCM ng denominators ay 4 and x plus 3. Okay, yun yung i-multiply natin, both sides of the equation. And then, paano nakuha yan? Una, si 4 times x plus 3, i-multiply natin sa x plus 3 all over 4. As you can see, merong 4, pwede nating i-cancel. Kaya ang naiwan ay si x plus 3 and x plus 3. Kaya meron tayong x plus 3 times x plus 3. And then, after that, i-multiply din natin si 4 and x plus 3 sa negative 6 over x plus 3. Meron tayong x plus 3, pwede nating makancel. Kaya ang naiwan ay si 4 at negative 6. Multiply 4 and negative 6, we have negative 24. Sa right side naman, we have 1 times 4, so we have 4 times x plus 3. We will multiply x plus 3 and x plus 3 at saka 4 and x plus 3. Applying the FOIL method, x times x for the first terms, ang product ay x squared. Outer terms, x and 3, the product is 3x. Inner terms, 3 and x, the product is 3x. And last terms, 3 and 3, the product is 9. Minus 24, so copy, equals. Distribute 4, so 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 3 is positive 12. Next, simplify x squared. Next ay 3x plus 3x, similar terms, so we have 6x. 9 minus 24 is negative 15, equals 4x plus 12. Okay, so step 2 natin, isusulat na natin yung resulting quadratic equation sa standard form. Ito yung nakuha natin kanina. As you can see, nauuna na dito yung x squared. Meron tayong 6x, meron tayong 4x sa right side. Dapat ay mapunta siya sa left side. Meron tayong negative 15, and then meron tayong positive 12 dito sa right side. Dapat si 12 ay nandun sa left side. Si 4x, pag nilipat natin sa right side, magiging negative 4x. Si positive 12, pag nilipat sa right side, magiging negative 12. Okay, so we now have x squared plus 6x minus 15. Lipat si 4x, negative 4x. Ilipat si 12, negative 12. Equals 0 na yung matitira sa right side. Next is, using natin x squared plus 6x. Okay, itabi natin yung isang term na parehas ni 6x, negative 4x, negative 15, and then minus 12 equals 0. Simplify. Okay, so x squared, 6x minus 4x is 2x, negative 15 minus 12 is negative 27 equals 0. Nasa standard form na yung ating equation. Let's now find the roots of the resulting equation using any of the methods of solving quadratic equations. Ayan, naka-standard form na siya. Pipili tayo ngayon kung anong method ng solving quadratic equation ang pwede nating gamitin. Pwede kaya nating gamitin ang factoring. Isip tayo ng factors ng negative 27 na ang sum ay 2. Wala. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ang factoring dito sa equation na to. Lalo na yung extracting the square root. Bakit hindi natin siya pwedeng gamitin? Kasi meron tayong linear term. Kapag mayroong linear term, hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ang extracting square roots. Completing the square at using quadratic formula ang pwede nating gamitin. Let's solve using the completing the square. In completing the square, dapat yung ating linear term at saka yung quadratic term ay nasa left side. Yung constant term ay dapat nasa right side. Constant term is negative 27. Lipat natin sa right side, so magiging positive 27 na siya. The next step is to add the square of b over 2 to both sides of the equation. Ang b natin is 2, yung numerical coefficient ng ating linear term. Substitute to the square of b over 2. We now have 2 over 2 square. Simplify, 2 over 2 is 1 and then square natin. Square of 1 is 1. Therefore, 1 ang i-add natin sa both sides of the equation. And then, we now have x squared plus 2x plus 1. 27 plus 1 is 28. Let's now factor the perfect square trinomial. X squared plus 2x plus 1. Ang factors niya, or i-express natin siya as a square of binomial, 2x plus 1 is square. Square root ng x square is x. Square root ng 1 is 1. And then sum ng middle term, positive. So this is positive. Square of x plus 1 equals 28. Let's apply the extracting square roots. Extract both sides. So we have now the square root of the square of x plus 1 equals 28. We have x plus 1 equals positive negative 2 square root of 7. Ayan. So, cancel natin yung square root. Ang may iwan na lang ay si x plus 1 equals square root of 28. Isip tayo ng factors ng 28 na mayroong perfect square. We have square root of 4 times 7. So, 4 times 7 ay equal sa 28. Ang 4 ay perfect square. Ang square root ng 4 ay 2. Iiwan sa radical sign yung 7. So, we have positive negative 2 square root of 7. And then, we will transpose positive 1. So, lipat natin si positive 1. So, magiging negative 1 na siya. Plus minus 2 square root of 7. So, these are the values of x. And these are the roots of our equation. Let's try another method by quadratic formula. Find the values of a, b, and c. A is 1. B is 2, and C is negative 27. Substitute to the quadratic formula. This is our quadratic formula. X equals negative B. B is 2, so we have 2 plus minus square root of B square, so B is 2, we have B 2 square minus 4AC. A is 1. And C is negative 27 all over 2A. 2 times, ang A natin is 1. Simplify, negative times 2 is negative 2 plus minus 2 square is 4. Negative 4 times 1 times negative 27 is positive 108. All over 2 times 1 is 2. Simplify, negative 2 plus minus square root of 4 plus 108 is 112. All over 2. Ayan. Pwede nating i-simplify yung square root of 112. Ano yung factors ng 112 na may perfect square? 16 and 7. Square root ng 16 is 4. May iwan si square root of 7. We now simplify. Negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. 4 divided by 2 is positive 2 square root of 7. You can see, parehas yung nakuha natin using factoring and by using quadratic formula. Let us now do the checking. Our first root is negative 1 plus 2 squared of 7. Isa-substitute natin ito sa original equation. Remember, ang ating original equation ay rational algebraic equation. So, ito ang ating gagamitin na equation. We will substitute negative 1 plus 2 square root of 7 sa x. So, we have now negative 1 plus 2 square root of 7 plus 3 all over 4 minus 6 over x. So, our x is negative 1 plus 2 square root of 7 plus 3 equals 1. We now simplify. Negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2 plus 2 square root of 7 all over 4 minus 6 over negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2 plus 2 square root of 7 equals 1. Ayan. Paano nangyari yung susunod na equation natin? Meron tayong different denominators. So, kukunin natin siya 4 times 2 plus 2 square root of 7. And then, si 2 plus 2 square root of 7, imumultiply natin dito sa ibang denominator, which is 2 plus 2 square root of 7. Minus 6, kinopya natin, imumultiply naman natin siya dito sa 4 times 4 equals 1. And then after that, we will apply the square of binomial. As you can see, we have 2 plus 2 square root of 7 and 2 plus 2 square root of 7. Parehas lang sila ng first and second terms. So, i-apply natin ang square of binomial. Sa square of binomial, i-square natin ang first term. So, square ng 2 ay 4. And then, square ng last term. Ang last term natin ay 2 square root of 7. Ang square niya ay 28. Paano nakuha si 28? Square ng 2 ay 4. Ang square ng square root of 7 is 7. So, 7 multiplies sa 4 ay 28. And then, paano nakuha yung middle term? Ang middle term ay kukunin natin ang product ng first at saka last term. 2 times 2 square root of 7 is 4 square root of 7. Ido-double natin to or ita times 2, kaya nakuha natin ang 8 square root of 7. And then, minus 6 times 4 is negative 24. Dito sa denominators, apply the distributive property of multiplication. 4 times 2 is positive 8. 4 times 2 square root of 7 is 8 square root of 7 equals 8. Let's simplify. 4 plus 28 minus 24 is 8 plus 8 square root of 7. All over, we copy the denominator, 8 plus 8 square root of 7 equals 1. And then, we simplify 8 plus 8 square root of 7 all over 8 plus 8 square root of 7 is equal to 1. And equals 1. So, nakuha natin na equal. So, that is true. The first root is true. Negative 1 plus 2 square root of 7 satisfies the rational algebraic equation. Let's check the second root. The second root is negative 1 minus 2 square root of 7. Let's substitute to the original equation. We now have negative 1 minus 2 square root of 7 plus 3 all over 4 minus 6 over negative 1 minus 2 square root of 7 plus 3 equals 1. So, simplify natin. Negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2 minus 2 square root of 7 over 4. Minus 6. Simplify natin yung denominator. Negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2 minus 2 square root of 7 equals 1. Kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina, kukunin natin yung product ng denominator, 4 and 2 minus 2 square root of 7. And then, i-multiply natin yung numerator nung una and then denominator ng pangalawa. So, meron tayong 2 minus 2 square root of 7 times 2 minus 2 square root of 7. And then, we get the numerator, the second numerator, times the first denominator. The denominator of the first. Okay, so we now have negative 6 times 4 equals 1. Next, we apply again the square of binomial. Square of 2 is 4, and then square of 2 square root of 7 is 28. And then, we get the product of the first and last terms. That is 2 times negative 2 square root of 7 is negative 4 square root of 7. Ido-double natin or times 2. So, we get negative 8 square root of 7. Minus 6 times 4 is 24. All over, distributive property, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times negative 2 square root of 7 is negative 8 square root of 7 equals 1. Let's simplify. 4 plus 28 minus 24 is 8 minus 8 square root of 7. All over, we copy the denominator equals 1. Simplify. 8 minus 8 square root of 7 over 8 minus 8 square root of 7 is 1 equals 1. They are equal, so that is true. The second root satisfies the original equation. Our answer for our example, therefore, the two solutions or roots of the equation x plus 3 over 4 minus 6 over x plus 3 equals 1 are negative 1 plus 2 square root of 7 or negative 1 minus 2 square root of 7.